Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another office video. F-Boy Island finale, spoilers of course, professional F-Boys, older professional F-Boys. And I've talked about professional F-Boys before, but I'll get into that later. So check it out. Yesterday I watched the F-Boy Island finale because it was interesting because it had three women and they had to choose between two men. And one woman had to choose between an F-Boy and a nice guy. She chose the F-Boy. And they split the money. He was cool. Everybody thought he was going to take the money. Then another woman had to choose between two F-boys. And one of them didn't take the loss well. And the F-boy split the money. But then the interesting thing was they gave the women, before the men came, came into it, the host, Nikki Glazer, she said, she told the women, hey, you could reject both men and keep all the money for yourself. All right. So they got to the third woman. Honestly, I can't remember her name. Pink hair. I mean, I kind of skimmed through a lot of those things. But I can't remember her name. It saved my life. That tells me how memorable she was. But anyway, so they got to her. She had to choose between two nice guys. She rejected them both, kept the money, and said, I'm an F girl. I was like, shit. And then they showed scenes like from throughout the series where she pretty much told them, look, she ain't trying to settle down. She told them. And I said, man, I thought that was interesting. And there's two things about that finale, or just the whole season. Well, let me say something about the F girl thing. A lot of women out here, there's a whole lot of women, shoot, they ain't trying to get married. Because remember what I said? There are women out here who can have sex with men and don't give a shit. Their emotions ain't in it. That was probably her. She probably was faking the crying and all that shit she did. There's plenty of women like that. And I'm going to be real with you. They ain't all F girls either. See, guys got to understand something. See, a lot of guys deep down want to think women like just on some innocent shit. And they're not. And I know some guys, they find out, then they get the rage and all of that. Call them modern women, which if you on this channel, you got to call them little girls. But I'm like, that's it. Women can have sex without an emotional attachment. And even if you say, if somebody try to argue, well, it's just F girls like that. There's a lot of F girls. There are a lot of F girls out there. There's a whole lot of them. And that showed it. And I kind of saw that anyway, because I'd have been like, because I kind of peeped something with that. Anyway, because I was kind of saying, well, shit. Even I was peeping it, but I wasn't peeping it. In a sense was I noted it. So I'm not surprised she came out as an F girl. Not surprised at all. And seriously, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of women out there like that, yo. There's a lot. I keep telling y'all. See, guys, get out that fantasy. See, guys want to feel like, yeah, the women, they emotional. They got to be attached. No, they don't. And it's not something new. That's the thing. It's not something new. They've been that way. I learned a lot of game from those type of women in the 70s and 80s. I told y'all. And they out there. And they weren't like streetwalkers or some shit. In fact, a lot of women do it. If they just want money from a man, boom. They sex traders. Now, that's why I call them sex traders. They trade their sex for whatever they want. It's about business. There's a whole lot like that. Shit. There's a whole lot like that. So, it just shows something. But I thought about something too. One of the things in F-Boy Island should be used as a lesson to understand something about the mindset of the men who get in the women. It's a mindset thing. Because, okay, I said like a lot of guys talking about that, they want to say, it's looks, that's all you need, looks. It's like, no, you got to have that mindset. Because you had genuine nice guys. If you watch, they looked at the beard, these were genuinely good men. You would think, according to the propaganda women put out there, that the nice guys would clean up. And you can't say, well, those nice guys were ugly. Like some guys try to say, well, nice guys are ugly. Oh, you couldn't tell the difference. You couldn't tell the difference between these guys. Even a heterosexual man can look at them and say, oh, well, that had to be the player. That had to be the nice guy. You know, whatever. They all had the same haircuts. All had the same haircuts. They all, you know, haircuts, generally the same body builds, everything. All it was the mindset. That's the mindset. In fact, I talked about that before. I mentioned a few times. You know, I talk about Master Yao and Yamache Morse a lot. I never forget. I told y'all when I was at a retreat. We had a retreat down in Atlanta a couple years ago, 2019. And men and women. And the women broke down which guys were select and non-select. And the thing is, they didn't use, it was only with one of them that somebody used their physicality. And it wasn't even about his face. It was more about he had big hands and big feet. So it's like, you know, that's the only one. Everybody else, it was all about their mindset, the energy they gave off. That's what it's about. Because that's really what it comes down to anyway. Yeah, it's good to have, like, yeah, I say body game, but I always say body game for your bait. And yeah, women definitely like that, but those nice guys had bodies. Shit. In fact, one of the nice guys that was rejected, that F girl rejected, and this was when they had a scene, it was called, I forgot, Mansplain or something, where they had all the rejected contestant men come back and basically spill like go in on the guys who were left. And, you know, during that time, she actually, the woman, the F girl wanted one of the guys she had previously kicked off. And so the host, Nikki Glazer, looked at her and said, okay, you got those two guys here. You got to get rid of one of them. She got rid of the nice guy. And this dude was just muscular. I mean, this body game? This dude was a poster child for body game. Shit. He had the jaw too. But he was just a total nice guy. It's all about that mindset, y'all. Mindset. Yes, you still want to work out. You still want to look your best. But then what happens when the two men, you got two men, they can both have handsome faces to a woman, both are muscular to a woman, both have the height. Let's throw all of that in there. It still comes down to the mindset. Indeed, if like the handsome nice guy was competing with the average looking dude who had the mindset, I put the money on the average looking dude who got the mindset. See, here was the difference. And it always comes down to this. One thing. The thing I peeped with the F boys, they were very aggressive. That was it. The F boys were always aggressive. The nice guys, they would kind of sit back, chill. You know? The F boys were aggressive. Like, I don't care. Like, you got a bunch of guys talking about, the whole, yeah, well, I'm going to wait for indicators. I'm going to wait for the choosing signals and all of that. Let me tell you what, even with choosing signals, I talk about women choosing the men in my material. But I always say you still got to make the move. And that's what it comes down to, which men are aggressive. If you take an honest look at the nice guys and the players are just more aggressive. Even if they sitting back chilling, they're going to make the move. They ain't going to sit back. They're going to take charge. They're going to be dominant. If you look at the F boys in that show and the nice guys were always kind of sitting back and chilling. They were always sitting back and chilling. And even that F girl who had the two nice guys in the finale, one of them, Casey, he had been on this show the previous season. He was a definite F boy. Now, he called himself a reformed. He's a nice guy now. But I'm thinking, okay. But he had some aggressive. He was just an aggressive nice guy. And the other guy she brought into the final at the last minute, Nico, He actually got there because he was aggressive, let her know what's up. See, one thing, and here's a general thing. The nice guys come off as too passive. And they trying that nice thing. Sometimes you gotta go in there and be like, huh, you gotta make the move. Even if you sitting back chilling. Like here's the thing. Like I've talked about I always tell y'all the buffalo wing story, which works. And I still, women to say hi and stuff. I still gotta make the move. I still gotta make the move. The woman ain't gonna do it. Even if a woman choosing you, she wants you, she putting breadcrumbs out, you still gotta be the one to take it a step further. And that was the only difference. You can't eat out here unless you're willing to hunt. You gotta make the kill. You gotta be like that hunter. See, the hunter, if there's two types. There's a hunter, there's a trapper. That's cool if you want to use a trap, but then at some point you gotta bury your fangs. See, me, I look at it more like a panther style. Panthers be sitting back chilling. That's more me. My style is more, I'm sitting back chilling, but then when I have to strike, I strike. But you got to be aggressive at some point. You got to let them know what you want. You can't be playing around. And this show, that's the one thing I liked about that show. It showed it. Like if somebody was serious and wanted to just learn what to do, just watch the show. Don't get caught up in that they F-boys and all of that. Don't get caught up in what the women are responding to. The women, even if you listen to the women, they even say it. You got to make that move. You got to be more aggressive. Now, yeah, the F-boys come off more as assholes, but that's because we're in a society that tries to limit men just being men. And that's some bull, really. The very nature of a man is to go get it, no matter what. Now, men might have different styles of going to get it, but that don't mean that you got to hold back or anything like that. So, yeah. So, that's one. So, I want y'all to think about that. Seriously. Yeah, we can, yes, still hit the gym. Still fix yourself up. Still let the barber bless you. Fix yourself up. But at the end of the day, you got to go get it. You got to be aggressive. You got to go up to that woman and say, hey, let's go out. We're going to go here. In the bedroom, they want a woman really want a man who's going to be like, pick her up and dominate. You can't put them, you got to make the move. You got to be like, come here. And that's it. So that's the lesson there. So, yeah, other than that, so, yeah, and F girl didn't. It was there. Yeah. Wait, hold on a second. All right. So that's the first half of this. Second half, professional F-boys. What I mean by that, I'm talking about doctors, lawyers, ministers. Because I had somebody when I was talking about F-boys the other day, and this is a good supporter, but it made a statement about, F-boys being under the age of 30. Please. Now, you might not use the term F-boy, and you typically ain't going to, but let's be real. F-boy, player, womanizer, dog, they all, it's just semantics. It's still the same behavior. A man taking advantage of multiple women. Now, hopefully the man will be honest, but let's just be real. If we're going to talk about F-boys in general, they're going to be telling some lies. The requisite lie. And I'm going to tell you something now. Some people had this belief, oh, those just young boys. Or you got some other people believing, oh, well, they're broke, they're homosexuals, they're all of that. And yes, of course, there are some. But let's just be real. The most effective F-boy, womanizer, player, dog got some money. And they ain't using the money to get the women. They just happen to have the money. But they are also professionals. They are educated. You got ministers. You got doctors. And there's no age limit to it. Some people will say, well, they in their 50s, they in their 60s. They shouldn't be doing that. Bullshit. It's still happening. You could say they shouldn't do anything. Hey, you know what? There shouldn't be crime out here. We should have a peaceful society. They ain't there. Seriously. Man, look, I know of situations. From the women, and they dealing with some guy dogging them the fuck out. And you ask them, well, what your man do? Oh, he's this attorney. He's this doctor. He's the minister. He's the minister and everything. In fact, wait, hold on a second. There's a book I'm reading right now. This book right here, The Secret Lives of Church Ladies. And it's talking about, wait, hold on. Sorry about that. Sons are waking up. But yeah, Secret Lives of Church Ladies. Let me see. This is kind of, yeah. Anyway, yeah, my co-parent had told me about this. I was checking it out. You know, got one story in there. This minister been boning out this side piece for years. And there's plenty of them. Look, when you're talking about one of the things that people got to do, what a person does for a living and how they make their money, it might have an impact on who they having sex with as far as their environment. But it don't mean they can't be dogs. If you go on a college campus, some of the fraternity members, of course the athletes, but you got fraternity members, men who are going to be future doctors, lawyers, whatever, running through women. And when they get out there, they still doing it. You know, managers, general managers, the heads of law firms, business people, businessmen who build up multi-million-dollar businesses, running through women. Millionaires running through women. Doing the exact same shit that the F-boys were. In fact, even on F-Boy Island, if you start checking out what they do for a living, these guys ain't like some broke dudes. Seriously. And it don't stop at a certain age. Yeah, that's that like propaganda, that myth that, oh yeah, they'll stop, and a lot will. But a lot of just keep going. A lot of men will just keep going with what they're doing. They ain't gonna stop. And look, here's something now. Let me hit, because the usual argument is maturity. Oh, they should be mature and everything. And let me say this. A big issue is in Western culture, because of cultural norms that stem from particularly the Christian religion, is that thought, oh, one man should just get one woman. But the reality is, in 80% of the world, a man can have multiple wives if he can afford them. If he wants them, if he can afford them. In 80% of the world. And indeed, even in this country, except for a certain sects of Mormonism, the people are going to do that one man, one woman thing. But then when you get like some outside of Christian religion, Islam, and certain different Hebrew Israelite sects, there's going to be a one man and multiple women. Indeed, seriously, or some Pan-African sects, one man, multiple women. Shoot, you got a lot of polytriads. And the men who are in them, they're professional. They're professionals. They got money. They got to take care of multiple women. That's actually a norm. Like I said, it's a norm in the majority of the world. One man, multiple women. Indeed, sometimes in some occasions, the women will bring in the other woman. The woman will bring it in. And I know of some states, some places, you get some places in Africa, you might have a woman, she marry a guy, and, she's older, she want to do her thing. She'll go get a young girl for him to bring in. That's normal. That's normal. And these guys are still, because a lot of times people letting just some cultural traditions say, oh, that's wrong. That's, like I said, that's more based on the religion. That's more based on the religion and the norms in Western culture. And part of, that's an even deeper thing. Part of that is helping the betas get a wife. Let's just be honest. But if you get the men, dominant men at the top, they're going to get the attention of multiple women. But because of the culture we're in, they might be called F-boys because they just can't just say, okay, I got these multiple women. Everybody's expected, so they got to hide one. And then some women, they think, well, I just got this man to myself, which a lot of women want. They want to think that. So the guy can't be straight up. You know, the women, shoot, they can't just, sometimes they don't mind sharing, or they just want the man for themselves. Seriously. And that's the thing. It ain't saying it's right. It just is. You just going to get some men, if they dominant, they got shit going on, they're going to get multiple women. Now, how they deal with it, now, some men might say, you know what, I'm just going to be monogamous anyway. That's fair. But the reality is, even they still going to get women throwing it at them. And indeed, that's a whole other conversation. If you're a truly man who's truly a man, if you want to call him select or you want to call him alpha, he's going to get women who are going to put themselves in his path, hoping that he hollers at them. They're going to work their seduction game to try to draw his attention. Sometimes even if he got the ring. I've said before, a ring is a magnet. And that's just a reality. And the men who got it like that are typically going to be dominant. Now, of course, people talk about the hobosexuals and stuff. And yeah, they doing their thing. But I would say this to any hobosexual. If I run across a guy like that and they say, yeah, I don't have to work, I got all these women, I look them dead in the eye and say, well, if you can get women like that, you can make money. Because women only going to go for, multiple women going to go for a certain type of guy. That means you got it in you to make money. You got it in you. If you can dominate with women, that means you can dominate in a profession. I'll tell them that to their face. I tell them, okay, you wasting your time. But the rest of the men who ain't on that hobosexual shit, they got their big house. They got their car. They got their degrees. Everything. If we lived in a different type of culture, they would just simply have multiple wives and go with it. So, but of course in this culture, they'll be called F-boys because they got to hide their shit. So I want y'all to think about that. All right? I want y'all to really think about that. So, but it still exists until somebody comes over with a movement and say, look, let's just have polygamy. And I'm going to tell you what, the way women are chasing after a select group of men, I wouldn't be shocked if they'd be the ones who actually start that movement, a major movement to legalize it. And that might have been coming, but now we got, the general movement is to take everything the other direction. But I would not be shocked in the next 20 years, a movement for polygamy, legalized polygamy, led by the women, starts up. And that's all it is. But here's the point. Until then, a lot of guys who would be called F-boys, they doing their thing. But, they just have to be on some bullshit. And it is some bullshit lying and shit just because we have a culture that don't really allow them to have multiple women. Some men don't give a shit, but some men got to follow along, especially professionals, especially if they doctors or ministers or something like that. So it is what it is. So anyway, y'all have a good weekend. I wasn't going to do anything because, well, it's real early in the morning I'm recording this. My son's still asleep because they get up, they loud as shit. I don't know where they get that from. So anyway, I get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.